We ring this bell as we make this time and these places we are sitting sacred by our presence and intention. Wow, I couldn't sit still during that music. Hey, good morning and welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Prescott, Arizona. I'm Suki Jones, your worship associate today. We extend a warm welcome to everyone here. We are glad you're able to join in. We hope in this time of pandemic, you are in good health. Please join us for the Zoom breakout rooms after the service. This is a great way to stay connected with fellow congregants and to meet visitors despite these continuing times of social distancing. If you're joining us for the first time, please check out our website for more information about us. That would be prescottuu.org. This is the mission statement of our congregation. We are a compassionate, spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Heather Knowles for her technical expertise and direction for today's service. And we welcome back Molly Freibott as our guest speaker. Molly is the co-founder and director of operations of GYCC, or Greater Yavapai County Coalition, an umbrella organization that supports members and allies of the LGBTQ+ community. She has a passion for organizing, managing programs supporting the community and faith-based programs, especially for those under-supported populations. Molly serves as facilitator of the Quad City Interfaith Council and loves baking, gardening, and running. She will stay in this Zoom session after the service to further talk to anyone. Although we are physically apart, we are still in community, and we continue with some of our meetings and activities via the internet and occasionally in person. So at this very moment, over there in our Children's Faith Development building, Bev and Robert are there as we speak, prepared to welcome children of all ages. And remember that tomorrow is the deadline to get your items in for Granite Peak's services auction in November. Here's a message from Chairperson Marianne Erickson with more information.
Good morning, Granite Peak members and friends. As the chair of the services auction, I am reminding you that tomorrow is the deadline for making your donation of an item for the Talents, Treasures, and Travels services auction that begins Monday, November 1st online. Behind me, you see some plants that were donated for the auction from people who are no longer present at Granite Peak in person. In the top of the white shelf behind me is a lovely plant donated by the Chagrews, and there will be 2 of them in the auction. Beneath the plant on top is a Christmas cactus that was donated by Taya Park before she passed away. So I want to encourage you to think about what your talent is, whether it's swimming like mine and you can offer lessons, or if it's baking or knitting or quilt making or teaching kayaking or paddleboarding or computers. Also, if you have a particular home site in a different location or wish to offer a trip to one or more of our congregants, please think about those as options. Thank you very much for your support of the services auction. Here we go.
Thank you, Marianne. So everyone, please check the order of service in the email you received this morning and check the weekly peek in our website for details about the auction, our regular weekly Zoom meetings, and other important announcements. Our chalice lighting words this morning, titled Why We're Here, are by Eric Walker Wickstrom. Here today with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. Come in from the crisp morning air outside. Come in wearing the autumn sunlight on your face. Come carrying the turning of the seasons in your heart. Whatever and however the greatness of life is speaking to you now, you are welcome here in our circle of friends. These are the autumn-inspired words of Sarah Getty McNeil. So welcome everyone into this circle of friends. Wow, was there some nostalgia watching those photographs go by? Wonderful song. Please join me now in reciting our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth, its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, thus do we covenant together. Please excuse me, before we continue, I need to deal with this cat. So sorry. He's yowling and I can't catch him to let him out. This is our moment where we think about our joys and sorrows. I have 3 cats that are my joy, but not at the moment. Today, we are grateful for many things. Here in community, we call them to mind and speak aloud some of the things that bring us joy. Today, we also have concerns and prayers for loved ones and friends. And again, here in community, we call them to mind and speak aloud some of the concerns and sorrows we hold. And together we pray, Spirit of life, remind us that we are not alone in joy and wonder. Inspire us to honor and extend the beauty we find in this world. Remind us that we are not alone in our times of grief and pain. Comfort us with your Spirit, manifest in human hands and voices. Amen, and let it be so. Let us sing Walking with You. At this time, let us pause so that we may exercise that all-important generosity of spirit. Our offerings lift up and enable this self-supporting congregation to conduct its many ministries. Additionally, we extend a hand to the greater community through our Seeds of Support program. During the month of October, our recipient is our annual Latino Immigrant Neighborhood Coalition, our event this year again in December. Besides providing financial support, please consider adopting a family. You'll find information about it in your order of service. You may donate by sending a check or going online to prescottuu.org/giving. Click the word donate to contribute and designate where you want your contribution to go. This link is also available in the chat on this video. The gifts from this congregation are most gratefully received. Blessed be. And now please enjoy this musical interlude, Humble and Kind. So today's reading is titled Food is Our Most Common Bond by Frances Moore Lappé, who some of you may remember as the author of the 1971 influential political tract, Diet for a Small Planet. She wrote, "To me, democracy is an exciting, living practice, what we do every day. To most, democracy doesn't relate to our lives, and it sure isn't much fun. I now see that to engage in democracy, to jump into this living practice, we all need something tangible to act on. Because food is our most primal need and our common bond to the earth and to each other, it can ground us as we stretch ourselves to draw in all the interlaced threads, so we can weave a whole meaningful picture for ourselves. With food as a starting point, we can choose to meet people and to encounter events so powerful that they can jar us out of our ordinary ways of seeing the world and open us to new, uplifting possibilities. Obviously, we are living in a time when our ordinary ways have been jarred. So let's hear now from Molly Freibott, because she and GYCC found a way toward those new uplifting possibilities.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be back with our GPUU family. I'm Molly. My name is Molly, and I'm GYCC's director. I'm also a member of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, so I will try to keep my hands from coming up there, but if they do, you know that is. GYCC, the Greater Yavapai County Coalition, the world's longest name. We should have never made it that long, but we're just GYCC now. So here we are, and I want to talk to you today about the COVID Support Box program, because it is the absolute product of the interweb and connectivity. That's what I wanted to say, of our community. This program resulted from everyone stepping up and everyone contributing, and this is the kind of thing that can happen when we're all working together. So I wanted to talk about when we started this. It was back in 2020, and I know y'all don't want to remember that very much because it was a rough time, but it was right when the pandemic came out, and it was before the vaccine. So we were all just dealing with that fear. We were shutting down our services, we were shutting down our events. And it hit home with us at GYCC because our precious John Duncan, who everyone knows, he contracted COVID. And at the time, the hospitals were full. the people were doing triage in the parking lot. John got very, very sick, and we weren't able to go and be with him. And so we had to do everything by Zoom. And we sent John to the hospital. He had difficulty breathing. He had a high fever. He was very sick. And John ended up being triaged in his car for 5 hours before he could get even an O2 reading. And so that was really that poignant time for us when we realized we're in trouble. This is a very serious situation. You remember the political situation there. There were some people that didn't want to believe it was there, and there were some people that didn't understand how serious it was. And the biggest problem we hit was that people didn't understand that the hospitals were full. We couldn't get treatment for the people that needed it. And so with John, we brought him home, and we just took turns over the next 24 hours watching him on FaceTime, making sure he was still with us and breathing and taking care, and just really checking in with him every day, just to make sure he was hydrated. And then we bought him an oxygen meter. Everybody knows what an oxygen meter is. It's the thing that goes on the edge of your fingertip, and that can tell us where your state of health is at. And the biggest trouble we had with people contracting COVID was there wasn't really a way we could tell the doctor how bad it was. And so after John started to recover, we realized that if we could find a way to keep people out of the hospital and at their homes as long as possible, then we could do that one thing, even if we couldn't do anything else. It was a tricky time back then. Remember when no one could get toilet paper, no one could get Gatorade, we couldn't get hand sanitizer, nobody had PPE back then either. So in 2020, we decided we were going to put together a box, and we called it, believe it or not, the COVID Response Action Plan. If you take the acronym of that, it spells crap. And nobody noticed it. We thought it would be the first thing everybody saw. No one caught it. But anyway, the whole point of the box was crap, I have COVID. And a lot of you have family members now, have known friends who have contracted COVID. And that is the actual response you'll get. It's crap. What do I do now? And we put together what we felt we could do to really just keep people connected to the community, to keep them hopeful, and to keep them out of the hospital. So when we really started with John, we took a look at what would be the most helpful items. I'm a nutrition and fitness specialist, so never in my life did I think that I would be prescribing Gatorade for people, but I want you guys to realize that right now, when people get COVID, it's a very devastating kind of thing. And the most interesting part of the program was that we had very high level, very organized people that contracted COVID, and all of a sudden, they just didn't know what to do with themselves. And we would get questions like, what do I do now? How much do I need to drink? You know, should I take my temperature? All of these things. So we kind of tried to put together a box that would answer these kinds of things. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump in since you've been staring at it. And there's a picture right there of some of the things that go in. Our three major parts of the box are a digital O2 meter. That O2 meter is what is keeping people out of the hospital, because when you start coughing, when you have a fever and you're having difficulty breathing and you call your doctor, which you always should do, the first thing they're going to say is, do you think your O2 is low? Your oxygen levels are low. That requires a trip to the ER. If we can take that question out and we can give people a digital O2 meter, they can tell their doctor, I'm at 90. I'm at 84. The doctor has a quantitative measurement, and there's not always an easy way to find a quantitative measurement. This has kept people from having to go to ER strictly for checking whether or not they need oxygen. I do want to preface it with the fact that out of all the 150 people we've helped so far or more, 60% of those people end up in the hospital. 60%. Right now, we have 2 funerals this month. We have 2 25-year-olds in ICU intubated, and given they actually tranquilize, they sedate them so that they're not moving. We have 30 kids right now who have boxes, which means they're COVID positive. This is a serious situation that's going on right now, and so when I'm letting you know these things, this is what we're getting from the congregation, so from the population when we talk about them. So the digital O2 monitors, those are also the most expensive thing that we have in the box. Our average box cost when we started was about $80 each. You're like, when you hear that, it sounds like a lot, but we had to source all of the things that are in this box in a community that was already having trouble getting resources. So Gatorade was hard to find. I could not buy digital thermometers. I still can't. I can't buy digital O2 meters at our local pharmacy because they're all gone. I don't know if you've been to Walmart, but Gatorade is gone in most of locations. So we had to purchase these things at first from our local supply and put them in there and get them out. Recently, though, from that interconnected web, we have worked with all of our community partners, and now we are getting donations in that really bring that price point down. But our most expensive item is the O2 meter. I can find those, if I'm lucky, online for about $15. So that is the most expensive part here. The next thing we do, another quantitative measurement, digital thermometer. So you can tell your doctor exactly what your fever and temperature is, and they can decide whether or not you need to go to the hospital. So those 2 things are the biggest and most important part of the box. All of this cuteness is adorable and fabulous and really important, but basically we want to get out our O2 meter, our digital thermometer, and hydration. Hydration. I'm a nutritionalist specialist, and hydration is one of the #1 causes for hospitalization, especially with COVID. It's also the #1 cause of heart issues up here in this altitude and humidity. So getting hydration into people with electrolytes is our 3rd most important thing that's going on in this box. So we get those things in there, and then the things that we are hearing from people and seeing are help. I can't go out to the grocery store. I have to quarantine. Help, I can't go into the communal part of our house because I'm the mom. I have 3 kids and I have to stay in my room. I can't fix food. I can't eat. I can't get out to pick up medications. So that's another thing that we really wanted to do in this box. I'm going to be pretty frank with y'all. We went through 2020. We delivered about 60 boxes. And most of the people that we got them to were just starting to feel that and pre-hospital. And so we also, if they wanted to, took their name and just followed up with them every day. Hey, how's your O2 today? How's your temperature? Are you drinking? And some people we were able to follow up on that. And now we had a little break after we had the vaccine before the Delta variant hit. When the Delta variant hit this time around and we started the program up again, we were then dealing with very, very sick people. So the first box that I dropped off, I knocked on the door of a 25-year-old. They were too weak to come to the door. We had to, with their permission, I was wearing gloves and PPE. We brought it into the house. This 25-year-old was not able to get to the table. We ended up putting a digital temp on him, had to have him transported in an ambulance. And unfortunately, the next progression is they need oxygen. They come home, they go back, they have blood clots or scarring. And now that precious one, he's 25 and he has been intubated this last week. So I want to just let that stay there. This is a serious situation. Right now, today, there are 67 people in our 4 local hospitals. So there's 34 in Yavapai, Prescott, 16 in PV. So think about for a minute, how many people fit in a hospital room? Maybe 2. Think about last time you were in a hospital, how many beds were on a floor? Maybe 25, 30. think about 67 people in a hospital, and that's what we have right now. So the hospitals are full. We are having trouble with triage situations. So when we get a call for someone that's already been diagnosed, unfortunately now they're already pretty sick. So we show up, we've got our digital O2s, our temps, our hydration. Then we also have over-the-counter meds, including Tylenol. That's one thing that goes in. Of course, that's a big part of our financial is getting those cold meds in. For children now, because we are getting mostly calls for children, we do pediatric Tylenol with that. The other thing that we're doing is crackers, granola bars, applesauce, fruit, things that you can eat without having to prep, because you cannot get to the kitchen. And I'm going to tell you guys, unfortunately, people aren't feeling good enough to cook. And a lot of the boxes, 5 of the boxes that we just did last month were for moms of over 2 kids. The mom is sick, and so the kids will eventually get it. And so now we're making kind of family boxes, and we concentrate more on food there. So we've got crackers, we've got granola bars, we've got things that are easy to eat. The next thing we have is PPE. In this wave, guys, this year we are all PPE professionals. We have, we've got masks by the door, we got hand sanitizer. It's really easy to come by, but you can't get PPE if you can't leave your home. So we've loaded it up with gloves, masks, hand sanitizer, and spray to clean the home. Here's our other concern. Most of the calls we get now are for multiple families or larger families where the adults have it or the children have it. And we're trying to keep those two from giving it to each other. So the cleaning and PPE becomes really important. They have to wear gloves and masks in their home. So Delta virus, the variant has been so much more contagious. Even for people who have been already vaccinated, we have minor outbreaks among them too. So that's what's in the box. I'm going to talk real quick about these adorable little things, because it seems really silly that most of our people are adults and we are bringing them little stuffed animals. But let me tell you about the gentleman that I just talked about, who is in the hospital now. He received a little teddy bear the very day we got there, and we handed it to him right after we called for the ambulance. That teddy bear, he said, I never thought an adult giving me a teddy bear would be such an important part of my life. And that teddy bear went with him to the hospital every time he went, every time he had to go on oxygen, and it's with him right now. And it seems like a little thing, but these little comfort items are just so precious. I want to also let you know by his permission that this precious one that's there, it identifies as a gay man, and his family has rejected him. So when we got his name, he is still intubated and yet to have any family member contact him. And so this box and our ability to reach out to him has just made such a difference to him. We text with him every day, even when he's intubated, and he just felt like he was all alone. He was diagnosed with it. He had got real sick real fast, and he didn't know if anybody cared. And if anything this is doing is letting people know we care. So I know it feels like it's pretty expensive. Molly, it costs $70 to get a box out. I can't do that. I know that during 2020 and especially 21, when it came back with the Delta virus, we all felt like, I don't even know what to do. How do I make a difference? Here it is with GPUU. You're in the community all the time. You have all these wonderful programs. You're always able to reach out and give, and you do. And then we had to shut down all our programs, and we had to figure out another way. It feels a little bit impossible. I kind of see it like here we were with all of our community efforts going out, and it got stopped, and we had to find a new way to get around that and get up there. The good news is when this goes away, we'll have both those options. We'll have new ways to reach out to people. This box would not have happened unless our community kicked in. GYCC is a little tiny organization of just volunteers. We don't have fancy degrees in 501c3 management. Our operating budget is usually about $1,500 a year. And yet we've made almost 100 boxes. This is how it happened. We reached out to the community and said, we need thermometers, we need digital temps, we need Gatorade, we need stuffed animals. And you know what? It happened in little tiny pieces. Everybody just started giving a little bit. They gave what they could give. And it was that group together that did it. I want to show you these cute little stuffies. These are made by Linda Marcy. She's a crocheter, and she has made the most adorable little critters. And when they go out, and they just bring a smile to everybody. She makes those. She was already making them in her spare time. She loves to do it. And now they go out in boxes that make entire families happy. If you are a crocheter, you could do this. The next thing that we put in these boxes that is so important are love letters from the community. What about these, the one that we just have hospitalized? No family, none. And what does he get? He gets letters from us and love from us, from the community. If you're just willing to call someone and text them and say, hey, how are you doing? What's your temperature today? Have you got to your doctor? Those little things are what makes this program work. This is just a recycled gallon container that some of the kids from Big Brother, Big Sister painted, and we put our little welcome letter and our how to track your hydration and how to track your temp in there. It cost them nothing. It's just recycled, and it sits there with the digital temp and O2 in it, and it makes everybody smile. We have some community partners now. Salvation Army gave us a wonderful donation of new blankets with the Salvation Army logo. They went out. Blankets are a fabulous thing. If you can make a blanket of any kind, it can be really tiny. People always keep those in the hospital. My son did chemo for 7 years when he was 10 to when he was 18. He kept every blanket ever given to him. If you're able to make something that might go in the box and you could put a little note on it, that would make the greatest difference. Salvation Army donated granola bars and crackers, and those went in the boxes. It was fabulous. GPUU, your grant from your community Seeds of Change, your $800 made our first boxes. That was it. We had to go out and buy everything directly, and you guys started the program. That was great. And that was a collection of everybody, again, coming together. The other things that's in the boxes, we were able to go to Odd Fellows. They helped donate stuff. AARP at the mall, the tax and AARP from the state level, they're one of our major distributors. They take the boxes and get them out there in the community. If all you're able to do is call us and say, hey, Molly, I know someone that needs a box, that's fantastic help too. Just Serve is another community group that jumped on and did some collections for us. Prescott Center for the Arts is now a place where you can drop off donations. There's 3 sites for us now. Prescott Center for the Arts in Prescott will take donations. AARP Tax in the mall will take donations, and then we'll just come pick them up if you have donations otherwise. Let me make sure where I'm at. I think I have like 2 minutes left. The biggest donation request I have right now is helping us identify who needs boxes. And I'm going to talk to you guys straight because you are in touch with the community that needs the support. We are able to find a lot of people that have a lot of resources that have access to healthcare. We're covering those people. We got them. Who we need to cover and who we're reaching out to are the underserved community populations, people who might not have the status that they sometimes need to go to a collection or find aid. Those are the people we need to identify. So my biggest request to you today is, do you know someone or a family who can use a box? And would you be willing to help us get it to them? And that just means calling us, giving us the contact information, and finding a place to get that box to you. So the next thing we need a lot of, believe it or not, I don't want to buy out the local supply of Gatorade or Pedialyte. Right now I can make about 15 more boxes. I have enough Pedialyte and I have enough Gatorade for about 2 boxes. Remember, we're making a 12-day supply in each box. So it's 12-day supply of PPE, of snack foods, of hydration. We use Gatorade Zero, but we'll take anything. Is Gatorade Zero the best thing for you to drink? No, but we are in an emergency situation, and right now that's what's keeping people out of the hospital. So that's my pitch on our box program. We received enough donations that our last 20 boxes were at about $30 price point a piece, which means that's fantastic. So when we get a donation, again, GYCC is a small group of volunteers. I know sometimes people hear the big name and it sounds like we have a whole staff and a building, and nope, it's just about 10 of us working real hard getting those things out. So any money that's donated to this program goes directly. In fact, I'll probably text you and say, I just bought 302 temperatures with your thing, which is the hardest one to get. That's where it goes. If you like to donate any items, if you're shopping at a local establishment, please don't buy them out. We do want to leave local supplies. So we do now order most of our stuff on Amazon so that we don't pull from the general population. And but Amazon is suffering the same thing that we see on the shelves. They're getting farther and farther out. So my digital temps and O2s are at about 7 to 10 days out, sometimes 2 weeks. So that's what we're working on. We can use donations of Gatorade or Pedialyte. We can use PPE donations. Those are all great. But the biggest thing I'd love to have is a handwritten love note from you to someone who might already be in the hospital or is home on an oxygen meter. Those are the things that we're really looking for. I'll be here then afterwards, and we'll give you contact information and you can ask questions. And thank you again, guys. You have made it possible. You guys are our partners in this, and the LGBTQ+ community has been embraced, knows you are the safe place, knows that you are a beacon of inclusivity and love. And thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Molly. You and GYCC do such amazing work, and we love your words. So now with our closing song, all you need is love. Cheered by Molly's message, filled with the blessings of community. May you carry them with you today and discover the places where these blessings are needed. May you have the courage to share them. May there be an open place within you to receive the blessings of the people whom you will meet along the way. Amen, and may it be so. And now for our chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Now, take as much time as you wish to visit with friends and visitors in the chat rooms, or stay in the main room to visit with Molly. Thank you all. Namaste.